I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That was very unison.
Yeah, we have that.
Really?
I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda.
Second that.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the consent agenda. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Council reports. Emily, you're first up.
Oh, big success over at the Wallace Pond, now known as South County Park. They're gonna weigh how much we actually picked up, which I thought was cool. We have a contact there now. Her name is Melanie Case. So we're gonna set this up again October 28th. There'll be another one. And she said it was so well received that if we want to do another one anytime, that we can as well. So it was awesome. So and also we have been approved of a grant for this building. So more to talk about that later, but I just wanted to get everybody excited about that. So
Okay, I forgot the important part, the department reports. Man, my bad. Chief, you're up for a department report,
Okay.
please.
Not too much to add here, except that, the main thing is we're having the community crime deterrent program ET classes rotating to New Life Church. We're excited about that. Bill Lynn has amended the initial flyer to include outlying areas, and so now we have another 10 women that have registered, which I think is great. So that will be on the 4th from 6 to 8. I don't know if you've seen the car out there with the speed deterrent sign. We've had that out there. We do have a candidate that's applied for the second position, and he rode with me the other day, and seems like a very, very good fit. So we'll see how that progresses. Other than that, just continuing on with the police department manual, a lot of fun. No, it's not. And then, trying to establish again, the speed deterrent is the biggest thing. It's coming down that hill. It's hard to enforce it when everybody's speeding. So it's the hill when they come down, they don't pay attention. So we're just gonna have to keep being proactive out there. But that's about it.
Is there any questions for the chief? Thanks, chief. I did get a call from Mike Fisher to be excused tonight. Rachel, did you have his report?
I didn't get it. Did you send it to Rena?
I probably did. Maybe send it to Raina. He emailed it up there last Friday. That's what he said. Didn't see nothing.
I can go look for it.
Well, we don't have nothing to report.
I have a question for him. If maybe he has he gotten the water plan report back from the county? I've asked about that from several times. I know it went out to the county. I think it might have come back from the county at this point, but maybe it went to him. If we could maybe double check that with him, I'd like to hear back.
Well, the latest water report that I heard is we're all A-okay, green to go.
I know that the county makes recommendations for us as a city that we should do as well.
What the county says?
Yes.
I'd like to have Public Works start coming to the council meetings again. It's been pretty.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't feeling good today. That's why he was asked to be excused. I think it's
One reason or another, it's been pretty much nothing for the last 3-4 meetings. So it's overdue. Which is fine. I understand these are.
Is that in reference to the new thing from the well up along the highway? Where they're going to replace that?
I don't,
Big feed?
yeah, I don't know that.
That's been mentioned a few times. But
Okay.
I don't know its status.
All right, and clerk's office, Rachel, do you have anything to report?
Oh, really, I should got out on time this month, so.
Thank you.
All right, back to the council reports, Eric.
Let's see, went to the Vader council meeting with Dwayne and the mayor. That was a good discussion. I think we're at the beginnings of some discussion with Vader, so more to come on that throughout this year. A lot of work in the audit, trying to get numbers. So where we're at now is I think that they would like us to reach out to their help desk, and it sounds like Rachel's gonna work with Mossy Rock and the information that I was able to find. And see if we can pull a second set of numbers from them that kind of matches the first.
Was it,
The problem we have is that the numbers we gave them last year and the numbers we gave them again when they asked for two of them to be added or three of them to be added together were very different. So they're trying to figure out what the heck that means.
Okay,
That's it.
all right. Did Shelley call for excuse today? No, shouldn't call me either. All right, Kathy?
First of all, a big shout out to Emily and work she did scheduling and carrying through and all the notices and posters and flyers everywhere.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It was nothing, it was all good, it was all good.
That was
fun.
not a little thing, and you.
It was like I realized I'm not a professional tire stacker.
But you helped. You helped.
It brought me back to
Didn't
bucking.
you say you had
the
water
bales.
pants? Water pants?
Yeah, I took a shower after I got home.
Well,
And-
thanks for that.
I attended the planning commission meeting and Todd was speaking to the annexation and the way the second development would flow. And that was very informational. I needed an extra class, so I was glad I'd gone.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Jamie?
Well, I also availed myself of the opportunity to get rid of some appliances. So it was a very well planned event. And also wanted to say that her friend lost his drill. And so if somebody discovers that they accidentally took it, it would be nice if they returned it.
It was a sad thing, but
That's about all I have, but
Okay,
I was happy it occurred.
thank you. Okay, committee reports, police. Chief, you want to say anything else?
Let's see. It all depends what you want me to say, and if there's anything you want me to add. I mean, specifically, is there anything else the committee wants to know or understand?
Sure. The self-defense classes, I saw this one is scheduled for Thursday, or the next one will be on a Thursday. Is that an ongoing fixed day of the week from now on, or will it be moving around, or?
I don't know why they scheduled it for Thursday. That's just the date I think they picked within the church. It worked out best for them. Is that a conflict for you?
Just with the market?
Why so we can
Time at the first, at a really good
You
time.
might have to have Steve hold down the market for you until you can additional duties as required.
I'll just watch a calendar. Hopefully
Yeah,
it'll go back.
so I'm not sure what the secondary date is at this point. But we'll try to make it work for you. Are you enjoying the class?
I had a great time. I
You
think
got
all my
pictures, you know,
first-
there.
Yeah.
Picture of you right here.
That was a lot of fun.
yeah.
Wait, I don't know if it's supposed to be fun, but it really was.
Do you have the back of my mom's?
You're learning quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, I didn't want to go for practice on, because that's what he's doing in the police department. But it was, yeah, it was really cool.
Consider yourself lucky.
Of course.
Okay, thanks, chief.
Yep.
Anybody from park board,
Park Board Advisor,
park board advisor?
sure.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, and you're there. Oh, yeah, Mary, sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Would you like to say anything on the park board?
I think everything looks like it's running really good. You're taking good care of the park out there. I see we get reports every week. And he's doing a good job. I promise to go help him identify some weeds.
Yeah, I don't wanna get something else, no.
So, that's on my agenda.
And what was your name?
My name is Mary Harold, and it's M-A-R-I, and the last name is Harold, H-E-R-O-L-D, just for your.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, how about you? Do you have anything to report?
Do I?
Hmm? You're top on the list.
No, I was glad to see Emily stopped by and showed me the pictures of everything that was being recycled. And I thought, wow, that was just blew me away. They had a truck van, 3/4 full of tires, stacked, and I'm sure she had.
Oh, they were all full by the time I left.
Really?
Yeah.
And then the refrigerations and all that stuff. I mean, I don't know how many of those
Yeah.
refrigerator stuff were out there. There's a lot. And the hazard stuff, that
Yeah, they were all full. The
Oh, that
hazardous
was full.
waste people at the end of.
they filled them up.
They turned one guy away. He was the last guy. They turned him away.
Yeah.
Like everything was full. It was pretty incredible. Like people were really in need of that service.
Yeah.
So,
And to reiterate on what the chief had said earlier, we went over to Vader last week for their meeting with the city council and the mayor to discuss
goodbye.
combine forces with our police because their town's growing, so is ours. And we'll see where that goes.
Awesome.
It was a good,
Yeah.
good hour meeting with them. And they listened. They had smiles on their faces when we left, so we'll see what happens. And we'll get some more reports. Anyway, that's about all I got. Planning commission,
Oh, wait, go back to park.
go back to
Go
park,
park. Okay, so.
put it in reverse,
Yeah.
beep, beep,
Beep,
beep.
beep, beep. Filed a loss prevention grant for the park for, the, tree trimming. Thank you. And that's going on in my mind.
Friday six.
We're next, we're next. Thank you.
I speak
At
every
least,
hand.
at least we now know what you're talking about
Yes.
with your hands.
Yeah.
And the sound.
Yes.
And the sound.
Yes, tree trimming. So that will be going through, I filed the paperwork through Rachel, so, yeah. Anyway,
Is that all you have?
that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Planning commission,
Oh,
We're dealing with two main issues at the planning commission right now. One is the annexation process of the properties outside our city limits. And the other is the Callis Meadows subdivision, which is within the city limits. There will be a public hearing at the next planning commission on May the 17th, that's a Wednesday, for the Callis Meadows project. The members of the planning commission have received packets with all the information that's been submitted to go over. It's quite a bit of material. And as far as the annexation is concerned, if you've got 2 hours and you really want to kill them, you could watch last planning commission. It's a lot of good information there with regards to the annexation process. And I think everybody was fine. Yes, ma'am.
my question was, why do we want to do a direct petition method?
I'm sorry.
Instead of a mailing method? A direct petition method
For what?
for, this coming,
Again, I know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
It's because the applicants have requested it, so it's not, we're not sending out to people to see if they want to be annexed to vote. That's the 100% of the people that are being annexed have asked to be annexed.
have they?
They have,
A little square paper.
well, that one isn't, that one, that is not part of the block up there.
Well, it's not the one longer than off of there, but I thought the last meeting we talked about fixing the checkerboard down here on Alder. Because we all three live on Elder,
You
and it's
did.
like every other house.
You looked it up and said.
I looked at it, yeah, your house is hooked in and then it goes to the end
Mhm.
towards six
It's
and
like
then.
every
This
other
is
house.
annex too.
It's a mess down there. It should be part of this whole annexation.
but it hasn't
Well, I
been.
spoke with Todd Johnson on that.
Yeah,
I don't
it's-
think that he believes that they can actually do that with the present annexation.
Yeah,
It would be a subsequent determination.
Be separate, wouldn't it?
And yes, it would, and it would also depend on whether those folks actually want to be annexed, because I'm aware of, I think, of at least one or two that don't wish to be annexed.
Yeah.
And we understand why, like they get a free post office box, like we're in the city limits, don't get mail delivery. They're not in the city limits, but they still get a free post office box and all the services of the city, but they're not.
that's a service of the US Postal Service
Yeah,
and not
that's
the
not.
city.
the
But yeah, we would,
Like cities.
if they wanted to be annexed, it would be really easy.
Well, like, 'cause some of the problems too, though, would be like, if they have, somebody's breaking in their house, they can't call Dwayne, they have to call the sheriff. Because they're not in the city limits, then, but next door we are, it's just.
Now, are they on well and septic?
They're
On septic.
water.
They're on septic.
water, not drainage.
Yeah, I'm sure that may play into whether they want to
This
be
is a
annexed or
strange
not.
situation down there where it's. You know, it's like every other one. I just thought it would be, if you're fixing an annexation, that you would want to do it all as a package.
If those were
instead of
up-
doing it
yeah.
separate.
If those were up next to that other stuff, that would be straightforward, just like we had in the school, but it is a completely opposite end of town, not even contiguous,
So
so
it'll be a whole other.
it would be, yeah.
Pay a planner again at another time to do it.
Well, we
But
have,
much easier since we're not talking about a whole bunch of development gonna go on, it's just a matter of adjusting the city.
It just seems
And our
like-
planner
it seems
thought
like
it
you
came
could fix
to
it at the same time, but it sounds like it's.
Yeah,
Our planner's on a retainer, he's not, you know, it's not like. It's gonna be extra for that,
I think,
so.
it would be a good thing to, I mean, if you know, they're your neighbors, maybe they wanna get together and say they wanna be annexed, and I don't think the city's against that at all.
I believe that the city is separated into two areas. And this is the annexation that we have been working towards as a city for so long. And this 60% now is up to a point where we can say to who we have been at a point where the landowners decided up there, right? To them who are abutting them, we can say, mail. Do you want to be, you know, that's what I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong. But this is the 60% of the people who are in this annexation.
Well, it's actually 100% of the people.
It's kind of.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's how far along it is.
Right, but is that, but we say,
It's a
Is it-
term, it's in an annexation term,
Is
they
it-
have the
do
10%.
we say to the people next to us now that, oh, we are living next to a city, or is
I
it?
do believe they sent out letters to the people.
all the neighbors,
Surrounding
yeah.
that area to determine the interest in annexing. And I don't think they got any positive response, so they weren't included.
I just believe it would really behoove us as a city and as a people that we do a lot of outreach and say, I don't know about this. We have 2 weeks before we say, oh, hi. I mean, and I guess unless everybody's like, oh, we're in already, but
Well, there's additional lands within our urban growth area that still have yet to be annexed to the city. I think up until the present time, the councils and the planning commission's position on that has been, we're not gonna force anyone
yeah,
to do anything, and I think with the 100% participation in this latest annexation project, we again are following that rule, which is we're not forcing anyone to become part of the city. They made a specific request to do so. And I think might need another grant for that, but to do the type of outreach, because you would have to do a lot of convincing to a lot of people who are used to living in the county
Yeah,
and
there's
used to
no-
having their well and their septic and being left alone, that perhaps it might be better to join with the city. But that's another day and another argument.
Well, and this process has been going on for some time, and so anybody who might have been interested in it could reach out on their own.
I think this will be our third public hearing on it, because we had a public hearing before the 10%.
Mhm.
I want to say we had another one, but
I think you do.
Yeah,
Any other questions?
thank you.
Well, just on the public safety standpoint, just if it's checkerboard, we're still gonna respond. I'll be the first one there.
You can have neighbors on both sides of us, so you
It
don't.
doesn't matter, we'll handle the situation, if there was a crime that occurred, I would make the arrest, and then the Lewis County Sheriff, and we go from there, so there's no concern of public safety, but I just want to make that clear.
I figured that.
Thanks, Chief. Thanks, Steven. Water and sewer and streets. Nobody here for that one. Public hearing done, special presentation done, public comment on agenda items. Anybody sign up?
I didn't bring a sheet out, does anyone want to say anything?
Anybody sign?
There's no names on it.
Okay, moving on to new business. The DOXO water bill payment tier change. I don't know what this one's about. Anybody?
So it's DOXO, and it's a program that I think Phil and Devin set up.
Okay,
I think it's a better option to get ACH that we had people doing. We can add it to our website, people can go directly onto our website and pay their water bills.
okay,
I think the point of this was it's 1.5% that, we would be charged. $1.50. $1.50 that we would be charged, for people to pay their bills. So that would have to be approved, the amount of time that we would save in the office from having to stop what we're doing to take people's payments, I mean, it's tremendous. It's, like this month it's been kind of slow, but I mean, we get 7 calls maybe a day the first month of billing. It takes probably a good 5 to 7 minutes every time someone calls. I mean, you add that up by either Raina's hourly wage or my hourly wage, and it's definitely more than $1. And then not just that, we're getting one main sheet, we can download a report weekly, and we can go in and enter everything that way, rather than having to do them in the office. We would ideally like to push everybody to make their water payments that way.
And that's operational now.
It's not, I mean, it's up and running. I think right now whoever's paying their bill is paying a percentage. I think it's like 2.6%. 3.6%. I don't know when it was set up. I know there's like 2 people in town. I wasn't even aware of it. It wasn't until I had a lady call like 2 months ago, and she told me, no, I pay my bill on this. And I was like, we don't have any kind of
Record.
Yeah, well, I was like, we don't have any program that we use, and so she actually brought in a receipt, and I was able to look it up and look through all of our stuff and found the password, so it is something that we've been using. I think 2.8 last month on there, but yeah, and all I know about it is when it came around or anything like that.
I'd like to see us be able to get to a point where we can have what we had before, where you have a blank check and then those are processed. Because there is no fee to us when we do that.
So there's also no fee when people set it up through their bank, but also though, you go on an online banking. And you just do reoccurring payments for your online.
It's actually 50 cents to the city.
Well, I think she's talking about on there, yeah, it's 50 cents per e-check. And $1.60 per credit debit transaction.
Oh.
So if we had 100% of the people in the city that are getting billed using the debit credit transaction, that's about $3,000 a year. So it would be nice if, the bulk of the people just want to drop their, and those people have to take action every month. That's one of my biggest concerns is you're now counting on all those people taking action rather than just give us your voided check once. So I'm thinking we could have the voided check and then we could have this for people that would rather pay online.
So keep in mind, Eric, that changes every year. So
Correct.
when water rates happen, then that paper process has to happen again.
Okay, so do we need a motion for this or just informational?
I would like to see more information about this. Yeah, I think.
So table it till the next
It's
meeting.
got lots of information in this, PDF. Thank you, Cindy. She did a bunch of work for getting this set up.
So we'll table it till the next meeting with more information.
Necessarily, not necessarily. I just need a minute to think about it and really process numbers.
So the other information that's not in that document is that we also use a service called Allpaid, which is another payment capturing service. That could be on the table for you to consider as well. I don't have anything more than, that service is also in place for the city.
Is that what we were using for the voided checks?
No.
Huh.
So it sounds like you're wanting more information. So Rachel and I can get together and do that.
I like this a lot. I just don't know about I think having to get people to pay their bill is gonna be a lot more work. If they've got to take, action every month, then if we can just.
We only had about 30 people set up on the ACH automatic thing.
Oh, really?
And there wasn't that many people.
Hmm.
But it's a lot of paperwork for us, and we've got to keep their bank account information secure and all that stuff, so. I just think and we could always set both back up the ACH, but again, it's only a handful of people. But directing people through to the website, it frees up a lot of our office time. And there are gonna be some people that aren't very, handy with the internet or whatever, and we had a guy come in last week and he wanted to make a park reservation, and Reno, was able to hop on his phone and do it for him, so it's not something that we could still help people with, but being able to direct people, hey, just jump online, go make your payment that way. That's one phone call every other month from the same people that we're not getting. So it might be $300 a year, but think about all the, 10 minutes for each person. When you figure if we have 6 people.
Oh, yeah,
call,
I think having it as one of the city members here, I think having different options to pay is a really smart thing, because some people don't have internet access or are very savvy with it, and that's just still a fact of life, and you can't exclude certain populations. So I think it's important, since it seems like you have the opportunity for 3 different systems at least. So maybe you're doing a really good job looking into all that stuff and getting the information, but if we have another system too, maybe we need to identify what we're currently using and come up with 3 options that minimize the cost to the city, but yet free up some of your time and then meet the needs of the varying types of population.
Yeah, we still pay cash and check at the counter.
Yeah, but some people, I don't even have checks, for example. So when I had started up my service, I had to go to my bank and actually get a counter check so I could give it to you guys to set up the ACH. So for me, going online is much easier. But that's what I'm saying. There's just so many different populations and you have to have opportunities for all of them.
And in my case, I don't set up automatic payment on anybody. And so I do online banking. I don't have checks either. I do online banking, and everybody except the city of Toledo will actually do business with my bank, which is BECU. City of Toledo, my bank has to write a check and mail it to you. Which takes minimum of 5 days.
I'm not surprised. I'm not
Talk about old school.
Yeah.
One thing you're missing is a lot of people want to control paying their bills because they
Absolutely.
don't know that they're gonna have $85 in their checking account on Friday, the day that you would take it out. But they know they'll have it on Monday, so they option to take control of their own finances and pay it when it's there rather than bouncing a check.
That's true.
That's not why I do it, but I agree with you.
There are many different reasons.
So we're gonna leave this one alone? Let everybody take their own options,
We're gonna get more information.
more
right?
information with more options. Okay,
or propose the three that work
So we have
for
one,
everybody.
we have one that we have one,
We have all paid right now that
We have
we use,
all
the charge is 2.6%. To whoever's paying. And then Doxo's already currently being used.
okay. Okay, so then, so we already have three systems,
Yeah,
So then we have the
sounds like-
check option, yeah.
and then we have a check option, okay, so we have three options.
Yeah.
so what do you wanna do? Send out flyers or something next billing and tell everybody these options?
So we
I
can,
just think a lot of people that are calling in, if we could get Doxo added to the website, when people
Oh.
call in, we can say, hey,
Okay.
you know, jump online and do it now, or hey, next month, do it now, but. You know, if you go to most websites to the city, the option to pay for your bill is there. You just click pay my bill.
so would we need an auto pay option on the website?
I don't think that's the option for auto
Cindy.
pay.
Is that
So
what you're
the-
asking?
The current way, though, if you find Doxo and go to Doxo, if we were to do nothing, then for 2 months. For a 2-month billing cycle would cost you $9.63. It would cost the consumer $9.63. To pay over Doxo. So. I think what we're talking about is the change we would make is if we sign up with them, then it's $1.60 per transaction to debit credit and 50 cents per e-check. No 3.6%. So maybe we should move forward with that sooner than later. So
Yes,
I make a motion that we move forward with Doxo and that we also move forward with putting the voided check
I will,
option back in.
I'll second this option, I mean, this.
Doesn't mean we can't- yeah.
I'll second this one.
So now in discussion, this doesn't mean we can't add this third thing if it turns out that that's an option for some people that works better.
Here we have a motion on the floor and seconded. Any other discussion? And let's vote on it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving on to number 2, Jillian Niles, water bill forgiveness.
Wasn't this already?
I can say something on this,
Go ahead.
so Jim called, and I know and I wasn't aware of the policy for the one-time forgiveness. This is the same leak. She had let me know, hey, the leaks in both months, or both billing cycles. I had her submit the request for the first part of, or the first bill. I did let her know, especially after the last meeting, that there was a policy, you can only do it once. It's all the same leak, it was just in the same, or it was just in 2 different billing cycles. So I told her I would submit it and let you guys figure out where to go from there.
has it already,
It's
has,
been repaired, yeah, it was repaired right away.
has the forgiveness for the first request already been granted
Yes,
and taken care of? She didn't know it was gonna be across 2.
she did know it was gonna be in both billing cycles, but I told her I would submit it for the first one because I was not aware that it needed to be submitted together.
Okay. Wow.
That's unusual.
Mm-hmm.
So she got forgiveness on the first one, but not on the second one?
But
Correct.
this is the second one here.
This
This
is
is
a
the second one.
request for,
Well, I think we should stick with policy, one forgiveness.
Yeah, otherwise we're making precedent,
Well, we
unfortunately,
would. You'd have to do it for everybody and his
Yeah.
brother.
sorry.
So let's have a motion.
Can I ask a question? Policy related? So is the policy written?
Mhm.
Yeah,
And does the policy say per leak?
Once in a 12-month period.
So you get one forgiveness?
Once in a 12-month period.
Okay, not per occurrence. It's just
Correct.
per
correct,
request.
Right.
yes,
You get one request, not one occurrence.
Right.
correct. So I'll need to have a motion here.
I make a motion that we deny Jillian Niles' request for water leak
Forgiveness.
forgiveness.
I second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? Let's vote on it. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Okay, moving on to number 3.
Motion carried.
Motion carried. Local records management grant / municipal code pause. Local records management grant
/ Muni code
for the,
being paused.
What does that mean?
We were going to be moving forward with Muni code last year and
Oh, yeah.
we missed out on a 20% discount, and then as we continued to look into things, we thought maybe this wasn't a good time.
Yeah.
And it looks like we've signed up for a grant, or have
Oh.
we gotten that grant yet?
It opens today.
Oh, it opens today, so we're gonna sign up for a grant to help us pay for getting our records in shape. So the thought is that we may be a little premature to go digital if we still are trying to figure out where all the things are on paper.
Yeah,
is that,
understandable.
was that the historical one? Sort of help?
I think that's,
No, the historical one is for the physical building, is that what you mean?
No, I thought for the records. To help with the records.
No,
What's
I think that this grant has 3 different types of grant. One is everything is going great, you're all digital, let's make you better. One of them is let's get you digital, and the other one is holy cow, you're a mess, let's figure it out. And that's the one we're going for. Yeah, so maybe next time it'll be hey, let's go digital, and they can pay to, they give us a
I
grant.
think that would
Help
be
with
great
me.
to get whatever we need to get, to get it into shape.
Yeah.
I took a class today on the AWC website where I learned a lot about forms and what forms go where and how you file forms and how long they need to be filed for. And it was kind of frightening. So
A lot of detail.
lot of detail. And so I completely agree that we need a good record management plan in place, so.
Well, we need to get our Muni code
Unicode plan, oops, they went too far.
under control.
So do we need a motion for this? Local records management grant /
No,
Unicode pause, just information?
Well, you've approved the expenditure for Municode. So I would think that there needs to be a motion to pause Municode until we get our ducks in a row.
and do we need a separate motion then for this local records management grant?
No, we're applying for that.
You're applying for that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I make a motion that we pause the Municode while we get our local records management grant into line.
Don't look at me, you said it.
I'll second
I'll
that.
second.
Go ahead.
Second,
Discussion?
I just went to that Washington State Archive, and it looks like they have a picture of our back office, our back room in there.
Hopefully all the filing cabinets are closed.
It's up to $20,000 for organizing the file room.
So discussion,
okay,
is this going to affect our court proceedings pursued with Winlock?
No, it should not,
No,
because
that's
the law enforcement is a separate entity from that. So and just to piggyback on that, Rachel and I worked really hard with the Washington State Patrol and Access. We were in default on several things. We were able to clean all that up. I think you resubmitted the documents that I changed already.
The new policies?
Yeah.
I'll give them more,
Yeah, so that we'll get the final results back from that and then we'll move forward. So anything from that is separate. We'll have control of it with the state patrol. It'll be all accounted for.
Okay,
any more discussion? Okay, let's vote on it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, number 4, special workshop date set, Winlock Court Service. Special date,
So we've already put this off because there's a lot of moving parts and I don't think we understood them all. And it's a pretty important thing. So I think that's finding a date when we can have an open workshop. Most likely have our legal counsel there. So that we can understand what. I didn't even, when we were first talking about it, we had those 2 contracts in front of us and I didn't even realize we had to supply our own prosecuting attorney. So like, okay, we don't even know what we don't know.
It's pretty confusing.
So
Okay, so should we set like 3 different dates and then find out when the attorney
I'm-
can be there?
I'm wondering if maybe what we're just doing on this item is directing Rachel to organize a date where we can have the attorney and a open council workshop. So give them time to prep it and pull it all together and show us here's all the moving parts and maybe we can figure out what those costs might end up being. So that we can,
Maybe set up a deadline for when we want to have it like done by.
we have a deadline at the end of the year because the public defender that we have is only offered those services through the end of the year with the community.
Right, so
that's all we got.
sooner is
than
better,
later.
yeah. I think, didn't we say we wanted June, but that's a month away now.
So Rachel, that also includes, it sounds like the public defender, it's the same gentleman over at Winlock. And it sounds like he is. I'm gonna say by the end of the year would be half the price as county, so, yeah. So we would pay Winlock, we would pay the judge. And we would pay the public defender. So and Winlock includes the court clerk and all that. And the prosecuting attorney. The nice thing is then when we can write some speeding tickets, they don't cost us money regardless, because I think even if. The person is doing 90 miles an hour and gets a ticket from Dwayne. We still don't get any money. Still costs us,
As it is right now.
as it is right now, yeah. So I'm not sure we need any motions, I think we just. Need that.
Mhm.
Need a date.
Need some end
Okay.
times.
For all the new business, that's it. Unfinished business, there's none. Other business. Go ahead.
Excuse me. Are we extending the discussion about the motorcycle for 30 more days?
No.
I can address that. very
Thank you.
quickly.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of so Sam put in a lot of time here, worked really hard in the community. We appreciate that time and dedication. He's dealing with just a small, conflict, for lack of better words. And is requesting a little bit more time to see if he can get that resolved. I'm fine with it. It's up to the council and the mayor to decide. The motorcycle is completely safe. There's nothing wrong with it. It's secure. No one's riding it. It's covered by insurance. And just in light of his dedication, I think we should give him a little bit more time to try to get that in place so he can purchase the bike.
When does the first 30 days end?
It pretty much now, so
Now,
yeah. So we can do another 30 days to let him try to get that resolved.
I would
I agree with
say
that.
by the end of May that we give them to the end of May,
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I'm not riding the bike.
May 31st.
I mean,
Rachel's
it's in a safe place, it's.
I'm,
It's-
okay, I'm gonna voice my concern.
Do we need a
Because,
motion on the floor first? Or just,
well,
discussion?
everybody's talking about.
Go for it.
So I'm gonna express my concern because, reading articles, it's not just a little tip. They've lost their city clerk treasurer. They are having personnel issues. And that then I would say goes toward whether Sam is also in danger of losing his job, or at least, in the middle of the conflict.
this is
Uh,
McClary.
McCleary is having some pretty contentious meetings from what I'm reading. So I'm just gonna throw it out there that, this has gone on and on and on. And we don't want to lose the motorcycle in the midst of the upheaval, so.
Well, it sounds like we should hang on to it for a little while then.
Well, I think to address your concerns, those are great concerns, by the way. The motorcycle's fine, we're not gonna lose it, it's perfectly fine. If what you say comes to pass, then we'll take the motorcycle up in there, we'll go ahead and strip it down, and we'll go ahead and sell it as a civilian motorcycle and still make all the money back. So we'll be fine that way. But those are great concerns. It's entirely up to you guys to decide, and gals, sorry.
Do we think some progress will be made the next month if we give another month, or?
When I talked to Sam, when he called me, he seemed to think, and this is just according to Sam, he seemed to think that he would have a good chance of getting resolved in another 30 days.
Out of respect for Sam, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, out of respect for.
And then
Sam,
if he doesn't by then we go ahead and move forward and get it back and go ahead and sell it.
Out of respect for Sam, I think that we can hang on to it for however long.
Is that a motion?
To
Is that a
get
motion?
him.
Emily, is that a motion you're making?
No, it's just my opinion,
Do we need a
actually.
motion?
What if it were,
Because-
what if it were a motion?
I would say it was blah, 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 and then it would be motioned, my friend.
Okay, I'll
But it's
second
not.
that.
You're gonna second that?
You don't need to make a motion, okay, make a motion that we keep the motorcycle safe for Sam until he needs it back. Wants it, no.
No, it's
I
with
just-
Sam.
It's,
Purchase it.
I see I'm bad at making motions.
I
Can I-
motion that we give him another 30 days to resolve this issue,
Thank you.
whether he's purchasing it or not purchasing it. And then we end this.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved in second. Any more discussion? Emily?
Unless it needs to be extended for another 30 days.
No,
It's
this is,
already been extended.
this is
four
the
times.
extension.
You're
Yeah,
voting on the
he
motion.
actually kind of insinuated that as well, what you just said. That if he doesn't get it the next 30, then he's gonna move on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
So
all right,
yeah, I didn't. bring
Okay.
that up.
okay, all right. See, there was more discussion than needed to happen, let's see. All right.
So any more discussion on the motion that's on the
No.
floor? Let's vote on the motion on the floor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, public input, nobody signed up for that. Executive session, we have none. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I motion we
Are we
adjourn.
still
Or
going to
wait.
set that workshop date, but that's dependent on what Rachel can work out.
Yeah, I'll call there tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
I second
Oh,
that.
and I did send you guys also classes, so check your city.
Send us what?
There's classes through the AWC that
Mhm.
is also supposed to be teaching you. So there's like 6 months, but I sent them to your city website. Or your city email addresses.
Just
Rachel,
recently?
One more thing, did you get any information on the guy who wants the apartments? About the alley?
Oh, that's Kurt Redding. He needs to get with Todd Johnson and they need to submit something. They're asking for the city to give us an alley.
He bought
I don't
the,
have anything in writing. I don't have any information, so that's a Todd and Kurt thing.
but what
I
I
thought he was gonna be here tonight, but he's not.
understood is that he's gonna put up a fourplex and a triplex down next to the park. And we need to vacate the alley so he can do that.
So he's got enough square footage in order for it.
Everything will
to
fit.
go through. So that's just something to keep in mind.
So
But
some,
he has to
some
make a
of,
request for it.
he will make a request, just
Okay.
giving you a heads up. But he's gonna
Excellent.
come down there for the alley vacate, it's good build. I think it's a good deal, it'll pick up 7 hookups. One whack, but anyway, is there a motion for to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second,
I'll second that.
moving to second to adjourn, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, everybody, for coming and showing up, appreciate it.
Rachel, I did not get.
You grappled with my mom.